Okay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Gavit Joshi, one of the core technical member of AWS Cloud Community LPU. I welcome you on the behalf of our community. I would like to thank you everyone in joining us for our first webinar introduction to cloud computing using AWS. We all are very happy to have you all on board. Let me first introduce you to our tech team member. Rajat Paul is a core technical member of AWS Cloud Community LPU. Rajat is an explorer of technologies, with automation being his interest. He has profound knowledge of DevOps, Docker, cloud computing, and mobile development using Flutter. He has developed and deployed end-to-end projects using Amazon Web Services platform. With different technologies, he is also a cybersecurity enthusiast or technical writer on Medium and has recently started his YouTube channel. His working experience with various technologies make him a wonderful community asset. Pratyush Shukla is a core technical member of AWS Cloud Community LPU. He started programming at the age of 6 and has been an avid programmer. With expertise in over 12 programming languages, he is having a professional experience in machine learning, deep learning, computer vision, cloud computing, robotics, and Internet of Things. He has won various national level competitions held by Indian Institute of Technologies Kanpur, Indian Institute of Technology Bombay, Punjab Engineering College, and Chandigarh University. He has also published a paper titled A Compendium of Autonomous Navigation Using Object Detection and Tracking in an Unnamed Aerial Vehicles. He likes to tinker in with electronics in his leisure time. His technical foresight makes him one of our strongest members in our community. Christina Christina Barua is a core technical member and a marketing head of AWS Cloud Community LPU. She is an experienced human resource generalist and a certified digital marketer. She is also an experienced public speaker, an event manager, and a technical writer at Rackup. Christine has been awarded twice for her expertise in English proficiency, interpersonal skills. She is also a cloud practitioner with proficiency in development using Amazon Web Services. Possessing the knowledge of a set of valuable software engineering principles, she is an avid programmer. Her interests include machine learning and data science. Christina possesses great leadership qualities and believes in teamwork and is an incredible asset to our community. So, not wasting much of your time, I would like to welcome Rajat to start the webinar.
Good evening, all guys. Thank you all for joining in, and I hope you all guys are having a good time, right? So please let me know if the screen is visible, guys, with on the chat or with the help of the emoticons, right? Thank you so much. Right. So, as you guys know that this is our first webinar, and being the first webinar, this is an introduction to cloud computing and an introduction to AWS as well. So, being the AWS Cloud Community LPU, we have all got the opportunity to interact with you all and share. So, without further ado, we will start. So what is cloud computing, right? So cloud computing is the on-demand delivery of resources and applications via the internet, right? So when we are developing something, for example, we are developing an applications. For that, we require infrastructure, right? So for that, for example, a big company such as you can call it Paytm, or for example, Dream11, which is the recent companies that are on the verge of, like, they have made it like on the biggest screen right now, right? So they are all deployed on AWS. So what did they do? They did not deploy their infrastructure, which is their data centers and everything. They did not do it by themselves on their private, buying private land, then deploying all the resources there. What did they do? They took the help of cloud computing, right? So with the help of cloud computing, we don't have to design and build our own data centers. So we access something over the internet from the data centers provided by the global cloud-based providers, right? So for example, right, as we were speaking on that topic, like for Dream11, which is such a big company as of now. So on the demand, if it goes, to cater to all the clients across the whole world, then it would be very difficult for the company overnight to cater to everyone. But with the help of cloud computing, what we can do is we can get the resources from over the internet, and we can cater to all the people all over the world. So that is the benefit that cloud computing provides us, right? So it also helps us to being agile and quickly adapt to changes, right? So on the basis of current scenario that is going on, for example, we are in a situation, a grave situation of this pandemic, right? So in this situation, people who are delivery personals, people who are medical officers, people who are police personals, companies that are providing hand sanitizers, like sanitizing everywhere, so these are on demand. So if you have a company which is on demand at this moment, so being able to cater to a wide variety and a huge number of people is only possible if you have the support of cloud computing. So that is where cloud computing comes in and provides in the agility, right? To being able to cater to the amount of people at the brink of a moment, and it is expandable within overnight, right? So it also helps us to respond quickly and elastically to changing marketing condition, right? So for example, when we are developing something, we don't know that if it's going to be a success or if it's going to fail. We just take a chance and we have an idea, we go ahead and implement that, right? But when we put it on the cloud computing platform, it provides us the ability to elastically manage it. For example, I see that I am getting increased amount of traffic, so that gives me the power to elastically manage it, so that all the customers, all the clients for my company, for my application that are coming in, they face the highly available service that I provide, right? So with cloud computing, what you require is, we require just a device and a stable internet connection, right? That is the only thing that is required for us to take the access and to take the resources of cloud computing, right? So we will also look into the attributes. What are the attributes of cloud computing? And it basically comprises of that developers and the IT personnel and the IT departments that are in our company, they don't have to focus on things such as maintenance and procurement, capacity planning. All of this they don't have to look into, because cloud computing provides you these resources. Like it's very simple to use, and cloud computing provides you all the access to this, right? As we mentioned, elasticity, availability, all of this are provided by cloud computing. So if I want to expand my infrastructure, if I want to expand my company and put it on global regions, right? So with cloud computing, I don't have to plan it too much. I just have to have an idea. I just have to need the requirement, and then I can do it. So our IT team, our IT departments, our developers can work on something on how to serve our client better. But about the planning, about the procurement, about how to maintain, if one of the, for example, if our instance, or if our OS goes down, so all of this is taken care by cloud computing. So our developers and our IT personnel can spend time which matters the most to the company, right? So in cloud computing, the user has to pay only for what they use. So the scheme that is or the policy that is followed in cloud computing is pay as you go. You pay for what the resources that you have used, right? So I'm using, for example, a CPU of 16 GB RAM, of 32 GB RAM, with 2 SSD hard disks and 2 GPUs or 3 GPUs. Along with that, I'm using Ubuntu Linux OS. So for all of that I'm using, and all of the services that I'm using, I need only to pay for that, and that too for the time limit that I have been using it for. So I don't need to pay for anything that I have not been using. Just the things that are being used, I need to pay for them. So in cloud computing also, the types of services that are provided, that comes under or referred to as cloud service and deployment method, they provide you different levels of control, flexibility, and management. So different services have different requirement, and different services have different flexibility based on the number of things you can deploy through the service, the number of resources required for the service. So it depends on the service that you use. So in cloud computing, we need to have a clear understanding of these resources, so that we can manage and we can provide the necessary attention required for each service. So now comes to the main topic or to the main point of the webinar, where we introduce what is AWS to you guys. So AWS, also known as Amazon Web Services, is a global cloud-based provider that provides every cloud-based service to you. Every cloud-based service that is present in the cloud computing scenario is provided by AWS, which may include compute, storage, mobile developer tools, IoT, security, management, analytics, networking. You may name it, AWS has it. So everything that is present in the current scenario in cloud computing, AWS provides it to you. And it has been the global cloud-based leader for about 12 years or more than that now, right? So with AWS, we have access to servers, databases, storage, and high-level application components in seconds. So with AWS, you don't need to think about how much time will it require for my application to deploy, as because it will deploy within seconds. You just need to know the requirement. You just need to know that I want to deploy my architecture or my infrastructure or my application across Russia, across Australia, across California, across India. So these are your requirements. I need 3 GPUs for my instance to support, because I have some processing or graphical processing going on. Because my requirement requires some more GPU. So I require this amount of RAM. I require this amount of CPU configuration, right? So this is your requirement. But you don't have to think that how much time AWS will provide me this resources. How much time will it take for them to provide me the resources? It is just seconds. Within seconds of you asking the resources, AWS will provide it to you, right? So we will look into the few major pillars or the prime pillars of AWS, which starts with scalability. So one of the most important thing is how scalable your application is. When the crowd comes in, when the when people get to know about your application and they're excited, they want to see what's going on. So when the traffic starts to come in, how scalable is your application? Do they change on the runtime when they see more traffic coming in? Do the instances change from 3 to 5? Is it scalable? Is it elastic? Absolutely, it is. AWS has created their architecture in such a way that it provides you with the ability to scale your infrastructure on the go, on the fly. Whenever the traffic comes in, you can transfer your load across multiple servers so that you cater to all the people, all the clients that are coming in. Agility, as we talked about, agility, responding to the current situation. For example, I am seeing that in the server that I have deployed in Australia, clients are coming more in Australia, right? So instead of I deploying more servers on the region, on my main region, for example, which may be Mumbai, and we will look into what is regions later in this webinar. So I deploy more on Australia or more on Sydney, where I see my clients are present more, right? This is agility. So AWS provides you the ability to be agile, to adapt to current scenario. Along with that comes the reliability and the fault tolerance, right? So how reliable is your infrastructure? If, for example, I'm doing some payment on your infrastructure or on your web application, I don't want to face any downtime, because that is a critical situation where I'm transferring money. It may be 3,000, it may be 5,000, or it may be 50,000. But money is important to the client as well as to the company, right? So this is a critical situation. So these are sometimes, there are many other times like this where you cannot face any unreliable situation. For example, we are hosting this on Airmeet, right? So if suddenly by example Airmeet goes down, the server of Airmeet goes down, so will we not face difficulty? Of course we will, right? So this is the responsibility of AWS to provide the reliability to us, so that in real time we don't face any difficulty. And if we don't face any reliability issues or any or any difficulty, then we have the trust. Then we can go ahead and start talking about, or with our friends, with our colleagues, that please go ahead and use this application because this is such reliable application. Whenever I go and I ask something from them, it is very reliable. So this is the case with AWS. AWS doesn't have any downtime, guys. It's always up. It's always ready to provide you services. You just need to know what to ask for, right? And the last point, fault tolerance. So this is one of the major important criteria of cloud computing that brings people into cloud computing, that you don't have to manage anything. Everything that is deployed on the cloud is managed by the cloud provider, right? So AWS behind the scene is managing everything. Your EC2 instance, for example, that is the instances referred to as in AWS. This is Elastic Compute Cloud. and all the servers that you deploy, all the networking criteria, everything is taken care of AWS. So fault tolerance, when some server goes down, so it is the responsibility of AWS to provide you with a new server, right? So you don't have to do that by yourself. AWS does this for you. So it's completely managed by AWS. So why should we use AWS, right? What is different about AWS so that we should go and use AWS? And why is AWS the best global cloud leader for more than 12 years now? So let us look into some of the features that brings people to AWS. And once they start using AWS, that's the only place they want to be in. So most functionality is one of the most important criteria that people are being provided with when they use AWS. So it has the most amount of functionality as compared to all the other global cloud-based providers. So no one has unmatched the functionalities provided by AWS, be it any criteria, be it any genre. AWS has the most number of functionalities and the services and the features they provide, right? Going on to the community of customers and partners, right? So AWS caters to the most number of customers, and it has taken a huge leap in serving the customer of the cloud computing arena, right? So my team will provide you with AWS case study link right now, so you guys can go ahead and explore that. So it includes, all the companies that have been benefited by AWS, a case study on their company. For example, there are huge companies such as Netflix. So Netflix has around 1 lakh servers deployed every day, and it is running every day on AWS, right? GoPro, Samsung, you name it, the games such as Supercell games in the gaming arena, and all of them, they have all deployed, and there are tons and tons of examples. You name the company, the biggest companies, they have deployed their infrastructure on AWS. Why? Because it has the largest community. Because when AWS was there, nobody was around. AWS was the first global cloud-based providers as a global, being catering to the whole world. In that scenario, it was the first one because there was no one around AWS. So customers are very trustworthy, because once they come to AWS, they face so much of love, so much of attention, so much of care regarding the infrastructure. They have created a bond all around the world, and now it has the largest community of customers and partners, right? So one of the most important thing we are going to look into right now is the security that AWS provide. So when we are using AWS services, as in the scenario right now, cyber security is on the verge, on the increase. People are being you can call it, people are being receiving fraud mails, fraud messages, fraud calls. They are getting bankrupt. So cyber security, data breaches are happening. Cyber security is a prior concern right now. So in this scenario, or before this scenario, AWS provided the most secure environment that you can ask for. How is it possible? Because when you are using AWS service, you are communicating over the network that is AWS private network. What do I mean by that is I will take you to AWS Cloud Infrastructure website. So our team will provide this to you right now. So as you can see, guys, this as you can see, this dotted lines, if I zoom in further, these dotted lines are the network, right? So AWS has connected the whole globe. The whole globe is connected with AWS network, right? So AWS doesn't use the internet. It uses its own private network. So if I am communicating, for example, if I'm communicating from Spain to Milan, which is in Italy, right? So it's communicated through the AWS global private network. I'm not communicating over the internet. So I don't have to think about cyber attacks that can happen on the go, because this is a protected network that is managed by AWS, and AWS has taken full control over this, right? So this is what I mean when I refer to the most secure environment provided by AWS, right? Fastest pace of innovation. The way you can deploy your infrastructure, you can innovate on the fly, is unmatched. It is not provided with any other global cloud-based providers. Why is it so? Because the care and the attention that is being given to a personal infrastructure of yours based on your application, on your idea, is unmatched. So it has the resources that are required for you to develop, for you to innovate, and for you to change the requirement and the infrastructure on the fly so that you can cater to the most number of people, right? Looking forward into the most proven operational expertise is the one of the most important thing in AWS is that AWS has been here for more than 12 years now. And in this scenario, AWS provides you with the more, not the more, the most experienced, the most mature, the most reliable, and the most secure team that you can get. So when you are communicating with AWS, you are communicating with the people that have been there for like for when cloud computing started, basically, right? So they know what is required for your infrastructure to blossom and to cater to the most number of people. So when you are using AWS, you are getting some mature assistance and some reliable and some secure environment to work on, right? So this is why people stay and this is why people use AWS, right? Looking forward into the global infrastructure of AWS, the services that are provided by AWS counts to 175 fully featured services across the data centers globally. And the global infrastructure can be divided into what you call as regions. So regions are separate geographical location across the globes, which refer to the main region or the main spots across the globe which you can connect to, right? And within those regions, we have AZs, which are known as availability zones. And within those AZs, we have data centers that are connected to one another through a high low latency network. So referring to the same website, we can see that the blue spots here refer to the AZs and the orange ones refer to the region. So as you can see that Paris is a region, right? So in this region, there are 3 availability zones. So in this region, all the blue dots that I mentioned here are the availability zones. So what are AZs? AZs are the zones that contain the data centers. There are around 2-3 data centers in the AZs, right? So if we refer to the global infrastructure, we can see that it breaks down first into regions, which further breaks down into AZs, and which further breaks down into the data centers. So the data centers are contained in the AZs, which is in turn contained in the regions, right? One more thing is there, which are known as POPs, or the points of presence. The points of presence are basically the pink dots that you can see here, right? So it's connected with the AZs, it's connected with all other POPs, and it's connected all across the globe. So this network, guys, anything on the network, starting from the AZ, starting from the POP, everything is connected to one another. So if I deploy something over here in one of the POPs, it is deployed across the whole globe, in the sense that if someone wants to access it, they can access it. But the main point comes here is, for example, I have deployed something in North California in this POP, but someone comes around and starts to access it from Tokyo. So it has to travel. So if we go around in Tokyo, so Tokyo has its own region, it has its own AZs, and it has its own POPs, right? So for example, I want to access it from Tokyo, right? So I have to travel all the way. I have to travel all the way to North California. And once I am in North California, then I can, then I can travel to the POP, and I can receive this content, right? So I have to travel here, and then I can receive the content, right? So basically, this takes time. This takes a lot of latency. This will provide a lot of latency to the data fetch, and this is not acceptable in today's scenario. Why so? Because when you are deploying something over the internet, you want people to access it, or in this scenario, when you are deploying something on AWS and it's deployed on AWS global network, you need to access it, or you need to provide access to the client so that they can access it on the go, right? So they don't have to face such latency, because it will be bad for them as well as for you, because if it takes time, it will take time for them, to read your data, to read your website, to read the content provided there. So it's best that you deploy something closer to them so that they can use it, right? So this is where POP comes in, right? So point of presence is a service provided by AWS in the form of a service named as CloudFront. So POPs are also known as edge locations. So these are the locations that are near to the AZs, right? So whenever, for example, I deploy something on, as we mentioned here, on North California, right? On North California region, wherever it might be, right? So for example, when someone is coming from Tokyo, right? So he doesn't have to travel all the way. He doesn't have to travel all the way to the North California region and to access the data. what it can do is it can directly access it from the POP that is present here, right? So this is the POP that is present here. So what happens is that when, for example, I deploy something, the person who wants to access your website will travel all the way to North California, and once it once it receives the data, it will travel back, and while traveling back and while accessing the data in the Tokyo region, it will copy the content on the POP as well. So the caches that are present, these are known as the cache storage. So the website that is website or the image or whatever is accessed will be copied into the point of presence, so that whenever next you want to go ahead and you want to access it, you don't have to face any latency, right? So this is the benefit of using the points of presence through the service that is CloudFront, right? So these are basically the picture of the regions that are provided into AWS. And there are around 24 regions as of now, and 3 regions are coming up. As of now, we have a good news in India that another region is coming up in Hyderabad. So we'll have more possibility, more exposure to our infrastructure to deploy on AWS, right? So we looked into AWS regions, right? So AWS regions are geographic areas that are separated, isolated, and within them they have AZs. And as of now, there are 24 geographic regions, and which is increasing on the fly, right? And then we come to AWS availability zones. We also looked into what are AZs. So within the regions, there are AZs. For example, within London, which is known as EU West 2, we have 3 AZs, right? Which are mentioned by 2A, 2B, 2C, right? So at least 2 AZs are required in every region. So why is it so we require 2 AZs, right? So for this, we need to know what AZs comprises of. So AZs have their own discrete, uninterruptible power supply, on-site backup generators, cooling equipment, network, and connectivity, right? So all the resources provided to them are isolated, and they are performing isolatedly from one another, right? So why should we have at least 2 AZs in one region? Because, for example, if a natural calamity comes, for example tsunami, for example flood, for example an earthquake, right? So one of the data center goes down, or one of the AZs goes down rather. So we have another AZ running up by its own. So the data, when we are planning something, it is recommended that you deploy your data across multiple AZs, so that if one of the availability zone goes down, we have other AZs that are present to serve your data, and you don't face any downtime, right? So this is what is meant by availability zones: provide high availability and are protected from failures in other zones, right? So they are protected from one another. If one goes down, another one is up to serve your data to the clients, and you don't face any downtime, right? So we will look into the AWS Free Tier account. So there are 2 types of, you can call it for now, there are, we can create 2 types of account. One is AWS Free Tier account. It is an AWS account we can create with the help of a credit or debit card. And there is another one that we can create, that is a student account, which is created with the help of AWS Educate. And we'll look forward in the webinar as well how to do that. So AWS Free Tier account is a account where some services are free up to specified limits, and it is free up till 12 months. So it can be used by anyone. It can be used by students, entrepreneurs, small businesses, Fortune 500 companies. All are welcome to sign up for this, right? So when we are using AWS Free Tier, for example, before the 12 months arrive, AWS notifies you on the prior of around 10 months that your AWS Free Tier account is going to end, and you are notified that if you're running some service that until now is free under the AWS Free Tier account will no longer be free, right? So our team will provide this link to you. So please go ahead and explore this. This will provide you the services that are free under the AWS Free Tier account, right? Now we'll look into how to avoid unnecessary charges. So for this, let us go and look into how does the AWS Free Tier account look like. So guys, this is my AWS Free Tier account. As you can see, my name Rajit Paul, and within this, this is the dashboard, EC2 dashboard, and within this you can go ahead and choose any service. So starting from satellite, blockchain, storage, compute, management, governments, analytics, machine learning, AR, VR, every other service is present here, right? But one important thing is that all the services under the AWS Free Tier account is not free, okay? I am saying that again, that all the services under the free tier account is not free, right? So you need to be aware of the services that are free. So please go ahead, browse through the AWS Free Tier website and check for the services that are free. And one more important notification, or one more important criteria that you should look at. For example, when I'm launching an EC2 instance, I will get some hint or some tags. For example, in this Amazon Linux, in this Red Hat, I can see that this is under the free tier eligible, right? So this provides me the idea that this is free. I can go ahead and use it, right? So there again, you see in the T2 micro, which is the instance type, free tier eligible is there, right? So all the other services are not free. So you have to go ahead and look for this free tier eligible tags. And for some, there are no tags present, but you need to go ahead and explore this through the website link that we'll provide it on chat, right? So few other pointers that you need to know to avoid unnecessary charges is that first, to get a clear understanding of the services that are free. Second is to create AWS budgets. So my team will be providing a drive link, Amazon drive link, in which we have a complete demonstration with the PDF on how to set up budgets. So what budgets will do is that whenever you are using any services, for example, if you have a budget of $1, right? So that is around 70 INR. So if you set up a budget beforehand, you are using the services, by chance the service crosses or is about to cross the $1 mark, so you will be notified prior by AWS, right? So this is the help that budgets provide. So please go ahead and create budgets, right? So this will help you understand the budgets are getting crossed, and you can go ahead and terminate the services, right? So billing and cost management console is another service that is provided by AWS for you to understand which services require money to be paid for and which services are amounting to a lot of money. So you'll get a clear understanding if you visit that dashboard that these are the services. For example, I've launched an EC2 instance, or example, I'm using S3 storage. So whichever services is costing me money and whichever services I need to pay for, I can clearly see on the AWS billing and management console, right? So our team will provide you the link. Go ahead and explore this as well. You will get a complete understanding of the cost details or the bill details or the free tier usage, how much you have used. For example, the EBS storage is around 30 GB per month. So it is the free tier storage, EBS allocation. So if you have used, for example, 20 GB, so it will be notified in the billing and cost management console. So you can go there and get notified and be aware that you have used almost 80% of the resources of EBS. So moving forward, cleaning up your resources is one of the other most important thing that is very essential, right? Whenever you are deploying any resources, once you are done with it, you don't need to deploy that, because in cloud computing, the principle is that when something is provisioned to you, it is just provisioned to you. It cannot be used by someone else. You can provide that to someone else with permission, but it is provisioned for you. So even if you don't use it, you will be charged for it. So if you have used some services, if you are done with it, please go ahead and clean up the resources. Be sure that you planned your configuration in such a way that it falls under the free tier offering. So if you plan any architecture beforehand, you need to sit down, map it, create a flowchart diagram of the services that you use, how your architecture is like, and you can have a clear understanding of the services that you're using and does that service fall under the free tier category. So it will help you to stay under the free tier limits, and it will help you to avoid unnecessary charges. So available AWS certifications that we have is foundational, associate, and professional. So within the foundational certification, we have AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner. Within the associate, we have AWS Certified Cloud Solution Architect, AWS Certified SysOps Administrator, AWS Certified Developer Associate. And within the professional, we have AWS Certified Solutions Architect Professional, AWS Certified DevOps Engineer Professional. And we have another category as well, which is specialty category, which is for your specialization. For example, you are specialized in something, for example, advanced networking, big data, security, machine learning, Alexa skill builder. So these are the specialty category certifications. So this is the link that will be provided on chat. Please go ahead and explore these certifications. So as this is an introductory level webinar and this is our first webinar, we are going to cover the foundational level certification, which is the AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner certification, right? So in this, it requires you to know about the AWS Cloud and its global infrastructure. As we discussed, the regions, the edge locations, the cache storage, the points of presence, the AZs, how many AZs are required. So this knowledge is very much required for the certification. We also require architectural principles and key services and their use cases. For example, how you should develop your architecture for fulfilling a particular use case, which services to use, which service provides what kind of resolve to what kind of use cases, right? So these are the things that is also required for you to know. We'll also look into in this certification the basic security and compliance aspects. So you'll be receiving questions around the security criteria, how to secure your environment, what are IAM, identity access management, and we will be covering that in the future webinars. And what are the main compliance aspects of AWS Perform that we have to adhere to. So along with that, you also need a complete understanding of billing, account management, and pricing models. As we discussed, you need your architecture to be cost efficient. You don't want your clients to face a lot of charges. So you need to know as a cloud practitioner when some use case come to you, so that how we can develop it in a way that it is fulfilling the use case, but at the same time, it is cost efficient. It is not generating too much bill. Basic core characteristics of deploying and operating in the AWS cloud. You need to know your way around the AWS cloud. So for that, you need to have some experience. So we would suggest you please go ahead, create an account, if possible, AWS Free Tier. If not possible, you can definitely create an AWS Educate account, and we will be providing you later in the webinar on how to do so. So now the final thing is the value of AWS certification. So if you are AWS certified, what does this mean to you and to the industry, right? Once you are AWS certified, it provides you with a feather in your cap that is one of the unique feathers that is present in today's industry. Once you are AWS certified, it provides you the validation that you are capable of solving use cases that are present in the current cloud computing scenario. It gives you a boost in your confidence in the salary that you command. It also helps you to be present in the current scenario and to showcase your skill to the industry. So people will know that you are AWS certified, and once they come to know that you are AWS certified, it will give you, the validation. It will give you the limelight. It will give you the necessary spot and the necessary platform that you require to fulfill the use cases and to fulfill the requirements that are present to you, right? So it will create a standard for you in which you can command a high salary for you, in which you can command job roles that are highly suitable according to your needs, and it will provide you the capability to be serving to a huge variety of user requirements in the cloud computing scenario. So once you are AWS certified, you will start the journey, and from the starting, you will be provided with a lot of help, lot of guidance, lot of use cases, and a lot of importance because of the fact that you are AWS certified, right? So if you're fresh out of college, self-taught sensation, or a seasoned expert, getting AWS certification under your belt is the way to go. So once you are familiar with the AWS console, please go ahead and create the AWS Educate account. There are a lot of free resources that we'll be covering on how to access in the webinar. Please go through that. Please go through the exam test papers. And once you feel you are ready, please go ahead and sit down for one of the AWS certified exam. May it be foundational level exam, or if you're advanced, you can go for the Cloud Solution Associate exam. And with this, it will give you the necessary platform with which you can share to the world, and it'll give you the command with which you can command the salary that you require and the job profile that you will be working on, right? So with this, I'd like to end my presentation. Thank you guys for being such a nice audience, and I'm very grateful to have the opportunity to be communicating and sharing with you guys. So over to you, Garvid. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Rajat, for a wonderful explanation of what cloud computing is and how and why is the AWS the best cloud service provider. Next, we have Christina, who is going to speak about AWS Educate. So over to you, Christina.
Thank you, Garvit. Thank you for passing on to me. So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I would be talking about something that's really very important and interesting. So, here I share my presentation with you all. Just confirm if it's visible to you all. Is it visible to everyone?
No, Christina, not yet.
Well, I think so. Rajit has not stopped presenting. Yes. Yeah, Rajit is still presenting.
Please go ahead and presenting. I think there might be some issue with the platform because I have stopped presenting. I am not.
Okay, just a minute. Is it visible? Is my screen visible to everyone?
No, Christina, not yet.
Is it still not visible?
No, Christina. Don't think so.
Just a minute. Sorry for the inconvenience. Let me check the network once and I'll be getting.
Christina,
Christina, try refreshing the page and then do it.
please try switching your bandwidth to low bandwidth and please try again.
Yeah, I'm already in the low bandwidth actually. Just a minute. Just a minute. I'm so.
Not at all. There are some problems in the platform. We are all new to this, so please take your time. No worries. I feel there are some issues, guys. Sorry on the side end of Christina, as we are all working from home. So internet issues are very common. So we will be going ahead with the webinar, and I'll be presenting my screen as well, and we will be going ahead. Thank you, guys. So let us look into what is AWS Educate, guys. Amazon's global initiative to provide students comprehensive resources for building skills in the cloud. So AWS Educate is present in more than 200 countries and territories and connects over 2,400 institutions, over 10,000 educators, and hundreds of thousands of students. So it has been, there for a long time with the initiative that each student should have the capability and should have the resources that are necessary to go ahead and access the AWS Educate platform. And in that platform, you'll be providing with a lot of resources, to build up your skills, to prepare yourself for the certifications. And it has capability of providing educators as well as students both the capability to go ahead and share and learn as well. So it provides students and educators with content and programs to develop skill in cloud careers and in growing fields. So it also connects companies hiring for cloud skills to qualified students, job seekers with the AWS Educate job board. So it has a section where we will look into the further scenarios and is referred to as the AWS Educate job board, right? So it provides you a capability, according to your skill, you can present the search criteria and the requirement that you have and the kind of job that you're looking for, and according to that you'll be provided with the suitable clients or the suitable recruiters that are there accepting offers for that job, right? So we'll look into some features and benefits of AWS Educate. So the first one is cloud career pathways. So in here we'll get the top cloud skills, leading cloud careers pathways in here, which are absolutely free of cost. So the next speaker, Pratyush, will show you the platform and how to go around the platform. And there you can see that all the resources that are provided is completely free of cost. And it also provides you with badges and with certification, so that once you learn, you can provide them as as your quality, as validation in LinkedIn, on social media platforms, on your CV, so that you get noticed, right? So the AWS console and credits, it provides you with the AWS console, just as we saw in the previous presentation, that the AWS console that we were accessing was a AWS Free Tier console, but AWS Educate provides you with a console that is the AWS Educate console, specially meant for students, right? So the student member also receives a USD promotional of $100. So guys, we'll be providing a link right now on the chat. And if you go ahead and sign on that link, you'll be provided with $100 USD credits. So you can go ahead, deploy your services, learn through the cloud career pathways, come and perform the practicals on the AWS console, and explore your way around. Professional development. We can expand our cloud skills through AWS Educate courses on AWS training and certification program. So it has its own AWS training and certification program. So the certification that we were referring to, for example, Cloud Solution Practitioner is one of them, foundational. So we have a complete pathway on AWS Educate that is there free of cost. So you can go ahead, fix a time, and on a day of around 1 or 2 hours, go ahead, daily access it, read a little bit, perform the practice tests. It has also got practice tests in it, The platform in it provides all of the career pathways, and along with that, you can access the courses. And after you feel you are ready, you can go ahead and go for the certification exam. The AWS Educate job board, which we are referring to, we will provide you access to thousands of cloud jobs. So for example, you are Cloud Solution Practitioner certified by AWS, and you also have, for example, Cloud Solution Architect. You have completed the cloud career pathways in here. You have the Educate batches. So you can display it in your profile. And after you display it in your profile, you can go ahead, access the cloud jobs and the internships from Amazon and other companies that are present on the AWS Educate job board, right? So we'll look into what the AWS Educate job board provides. So the AWS Educate job boards allow students to search for and apply to thousands of cloud computing jobs, right? And internship opportunities. If you are in first or second year, you are not looking for a job, you are just preparing yourself for internship. You can look for internship as well. So you develop your skills on the AWS Educate Cloud platform by accessing the free career cloud pathways, and then you come and apply for jobs, right? This is a continuous process. You are learning, you're applying for jobs, you're applying for internship, right? So once this balance is set, you will start to receive a lot of offers from a lot of companies, and it will be provided to you through the AWS Educate job board platform as well, right? So it will provide you the opportunity to take the skills that you have learned and put it directly into the workforce. So the AWS Educate job boards also includes computer science job and internship from some of the top technology companies. So be it other technology companies like Microsoft, like Google, like for example, like Amazon as well, right? They will be providing jobs to you in the AWS Educate job platform, and you have to be present. You have to be asking, and you have to be searching for the jobs through the AWS Educate job board. So it is a continuous process. You need to be at it, and you need to provide and upgrade your skills at the same time, and provide your skills on the platform, on your profile, display them on your profile, display the badges, and keep applying for jobs, right? So this is how AWS Educate job board looks like. So here, as you can see, the student name is placeholder, and the consecutive days that he has been or she has been here is 1. The skills she has completed is 3, and the badges earned is 0, right? So in here you have the portfolio section, the career pathways that you can go and learn, the learn section, the badges, the jobs, and this is the AWS account. This is where you can go and get a console where you can perform your practicals, you can perform your demo, and you'll be provided USD $100. So right on the chat, you can see a referral link. Please go ahead and create the AWS Educate sign up for your account. So in here, for example, if you're searching for Cloud Solution Architect, so in here you'll get the job. Once you search it, and you'll get all the jobs related here. For example, Associate Cloud Architect, Cloud Service Delivery Manager, Cloud Application Architect Developer, and these are the jobs that we'll be getting. For example, here the search is for Cloud Engineer. So the jobs that are here are from Cloud Engineer from Stalem, Austin, Texas, United States, right? Another is from NetApp, Mississauga, Ontario, Canada, solution engineer. So as you can see, from all the top level technical companies from all around the world, you'll be getting the job. So you can view the job, apply for them, and you can go ahead and explore this platform, right? So please go ahead and create this account. This link will be provided to you. You just have to provide your university mail ID. Please make sure you provide your university mail ID so that you receive the $100 credits, as well as you provide the verify your email address, complete the captcha so that you are not a robot. Once the form is submitted, you will receive a confirmation mail within few hours or within 24 hours. And after it's done, you can go ahead and explore your way through AWS Educate, right? So the AWS Educate platform, go ahead, learn from it. There are various career pathways. You can go ahead, learn, get badges, get certified, and the certifications are free as well. So the career pathway certification that we'll be receiving are free. But once you receive the certification, you can display it in your profile, and you can search for jobs, apply for jobs, and you can get jobs and internship from the platform as well. So please go ahead and take your time and explore this by yourself. So thank you for joining, guys, so much. So this was for the presentation. So now we will shift it to Garvit. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Rajat. This was a lovely presentation. Now I'd like to call Pratyush for hands-on demonstration. Pratyush, over to them.
Good evening, everyone. Now I will present my screen and show you a hands-on practical on the AWS platform. Is my screen visible? Yes. Right. So I'm going to show you a practical on the AWS platform. As you can see, if you are using an AWS account, you can go to aws.amazon.com/education/AWS Educate. If you have not already signed up for the account, you need to click here and join the AWS Educate account. I will be signing into my account, the AWS Educate account. I'll use my university email address. Right. So you can see this is the AWS Educate web page where you are being shown your dashboard. How many times you have clicked open the portal, the portfolio, the career pathway, the badges that you obtained using the AWS Educate platform to learn about the various technologies that you can use on the platform, and of course your AWS account. I'll be clicking here. You can see that I had 100 credits, but I have used one of them, so I'm having 99 credits till this time. I'm going to click here. I'll be opening my Vocarium account where you can learn and see the practical videos. I'll be clicking on the AWS console. As you can see, it says that I have full access to my AWS account. I have $100 credits estimated, but I'm having 99, and my total session time has been 2 hours 60 minutes. So I'm going to click here. Right, so this is the main console. Whether you're using an AWS Educate account or an AWS Free Tier account, you will be having the same management console. With the Free Tier account, you will be having your name, and with the Educate account, you will be having a federated token. That means on behalf of the organization that has partnered with the AWS Educate program. So I'm having my login credentials as follows with my account, organization, serving quotas, billing dashboard, and if I want, I can switch roles to it is not available in the AWS Educate platform. My region is US East of North Virginia. If I want, I can change to any one of those, but I'm using the default region. And I have the support page where I can find the documentation, training, forums, expert help, and the support center. Right. So as you can see, the management console, you have all the services here that you want. You can search for them from here. My recently visited services are being shown here. If I want, I can just search for the service right here in a particular domain like machine learning, the SageMaker service, the Deep Composer, or if I want the RDS service for database. And if I want to build something, if I want to use any other service, I can just see a video and I can do a hands-on from here. If I want to learn, I have the videos, tutorials, and practical labs also available. So I'll be creating a virtual machine using the Elastic Cloud Compute service, that is the AWS EC2 service that I have already marked as favorite here. If you want, you can mark your services as favorite by clicking here and it will be shown here. Right, so I will be clicking here. I'll be opening my EC2 service. Now, a word of advice to you. As you can see here, it is showing a new EC2 experience. The AWS platform gradually keeps getting updated over time. If you are using a GitHub, you can see that if you subscribe to any of the services like I have of the AWS SageMaker, you'll be getting constant updates about the API changes that they do. So you are going to have a different UI, or you are going to have a different set of services that might be available before or not. So right now, this is how the UI looks for the Elastic Cloud Compute service. As you can see, I have the whole dashboard here where I can see what services I am using, what the service status is. Right now, I'm having no instance. That means I'm having no virtual machine running. I will go here and create an instance. Right. So as you can see, I'm not having any instance. I just terminated one. So I'm having an instance which is saying as terminated. It's showing as terminated. I have all the details here. I want to click here. I'll get all the information that I want down below. Let me just click here. I'll get all the information that I had. I'll do the platform details, the launch time, the platform, the AMI ID, and everything. Now, coming to that, I'll click on launch instance. So I'm going to configure an AWS service. So first step is choosing the Amazon machine image. It is just like an ISO, but Amazon configured so that it can run on the AWS platform. So I'm having different type of operating system images with preloaded software and the type of volume support that they do for the storage. So I have Amazon Linux 2 AMI that comes with Linux kernel 4.14 with systemd, glibc, bnutil. So it has all the pre-installed dependencies that you can just use and deploy for your applications. So I'll be using the free tier eligible services that I have. If you want, you can use the deep learning AMIs as well. That comes with the pre-default. It comes with the default deep learning libraries with the predetermined dependencies available here. So I'm going to configure an Ubuntu service for the Ubuntu server 20.04. Rather, I will use the Ubuntu 16.04 down below. I can use any one of these if I want. If I see the hardware, I have the option of 64-bit x86, or in this case, the ARM architecture. I'll be using the Red Hat Enterprise Linux 8, and I'll be using the x86 architecture. I click on here. Now the instance type. What instance type means is that a particular type of hardware that is predetermined on the Amazon platform that you can use. So the type is T2.micro that I can use, as it is free tier eligible, and I have limitations, so I will only have to use this hardware. I have vCPUs, that means the number of virtual CPUs that I can use. It is 1 CPU and 1 GB of RAM. The support for various things is shown here. If you click on the tooltip, you will also get help from the AWS platform. I can just review and launch, but I'm going to show you what more you can do to the instance you are creating. Suppose I want to create 3 instances of the same AMI, but I want it for different purposes. So I can just click here and type the number of instances I want. So I will be launching 3 types of instances if I want, so that I can use for different purposes. I'm just using one of it, the network, VPC. VPC is Amazon's virtual private cloud service where you can legally isolate a part of the AWS cloud so that you can have a set of predetermined addresses that you can use for uh, your business or for your organization or for your personal use. So it'll be giving you a range of IP addresses, the subnet mask that you want. Right. So I have one configured here. You want, you can create one from here and it will open the VPC service and it will open the VPC management console. So as you will see, I have one pre-configured here. See, it comes under the part of networking. So I have the VPCs here. My VPC is being loaded. As I have this selected as my region, I am having a little latency. So you can see it is available here. I'm just going to close it. I'm going to move on to the next. I can specify the CPU options, the set jump behavior. It's stop or terminate. Stop means the service is going to be stopped and the data is going to be stored. And a terminate means the data is going to be removed as well. I will click on stop. I can monitor, I can have file systems if I want a new file system and other advanced services. Next, I will go to add storage. Now my Linux uses root storage that is stored on dev, that is used on the dev directory. So I'll be having the SDA1 as root. I can configure the size how much I want. I am selecting 10 GBs. I can add a new volume, select it as the type of SSD I want. So I'm having the magnetic standard, the gold SSD, the provisioned IOPS SSD. You can find all the details on the AWS documentations and the links we are providing. So I'll be using only the root server. I'll be having the root volume type. Now I can also add the tags. You can see that here also you get help from AWS that a tag consists of a case sensitive key value pair. So if I want, I can tag the AWS resources so that it is easier for the user if he is using my account on the AWS platform. If someone else is using my account, like if I am configuring it for an organization, various people can see what the key value pair is for an instance and the volume type, and they can use it accordingly. Not going to do that. I can just click on here. Security group. Now, security group, you are going to configure the security that you want so that only a certain section of people can access your virtual instance, your virtual machine on the AWS platform. I'm having the TCP rule, the SSH, the SMTP, the DNS, and HTTP. So I'll not be adding any rule. I can give the description. I can check the source anywhere or only my IP, define the IP, the port range, the protocol, and everything. I can just select any of the default existing groups I want. So I'll be just going to review and log. Right. You see there's an error. Why? Because I've not selected at least one security group. So I'm going to select the default. Sometimes if you click review and launch or if you click next, it will show you an error. It can show you an error at that stage of time or it can show you on the review screen so that you can review what changes you have done or what you are going to use. If I were to use the instance type as different, it will show me an error. And it would certainly say here that the instance you are choosing is different. Let me show you a little. I click on here and I say configure instance, it will see. You can see that it is saying that my configurations will be cleared, which is obvious. And if I want, I can cancel. I can choose to keep the previous or I can continue with this instance. I will just click on cancel. I'll just click in here, review and launch, because I can now review and see what I have for my service, what configurations I have made. Because it's going to launch. So as Amazon is a very secure platform, you have to have an existing key pair for accessing the instance securely. I've already created one. So I am having that so that you can directly SSH into your system. That means the secure server cell. If you want, you can directly access a particular IP address of the instance and you can directly use the PEN key, the selected private key file that is being stored on your desktop or your device. So we click on launch instance. I can get notified of the estimated charges I want and my instances are launching. If I view the launch log, saying that the initiation is complete, I'll be clicking on view instances. Now, if you see here, it shows that it's terminated, but it is also loading one process. See, it is pending because there is one service about to be launched, and that is the one we have created right now. If I click on the dashboard, it says that there's currently no instance running, but I will just click here. I'm also getting the zone status and the service health here. Now you see I have two instances, one is terminated and one is running, which can be shown here. I'm going to the running instance. This is running. I click on here, and I can click on connect. I can check the instance state as well. Now for the PEM key, that the existing key value pair that I have defined, I can just use SSH and connect to it using these instructions. If I want, I can just connect it like this, which I am going to. I will just connect. You can see it is showing the URL as console.aws.amazon.com/ec2/v2/connect, the username and my particular instance ID that I had, which is going to be used to connect to the service. I've used a very slow hardware, a 1-core, 1 GB system. So, and the backend is managed by Amazon of what type of processor they use. Right now, Amazon is using their Graviton custom processor in the backend for the CPU. As it is very slow, you won't be able to see for a longer time what is going to happen here. But as if you have configured a virtual machine, you will see that you will get an AWS console, a shell, the Linux shell you will be seeing here, the Ubuntu shell. And you can directly just use all your Linux commands like ls, cat, and everything, and you will be shown what you are doing here. Your data is stored on the S3 bucket, which is the simple storage service. I'll be just using this by canceling it. Your data is stored on the S3 service, the simple storage service. Right. So if I click here, if I choose to stop, my data will be saved there. I can see that my VPC ID, my subnet ID, my platform detail is the Red Hat Enterprise Linux, the AMI ID, the name, Harley GP2, the location, and everything that I have is displayed here. Now, if I click on actions and I say that I want to manage the instance state and I want it to stop, I can just stop it. If I can reboot it, and if I terminate, that any storage that I had that is all my data, it will be terminated. So I'm going to click on terminate so that I don't have to pay a hefty price for not using my service when I'm logging out of my account. You log out your account, or if you shut down your device, your Amazon platform keeps using that service on behalf of your account. So you're advised to clear all your configurations for that service, delete all the endpoints that you use, stop all the services that are running in the background, and then close your account. That means log out from your account. So I've stopped this service, and if I go to the dashboard, just click reload here and see if no service is running. Else I will be charged for that service, which I can view from here from my service quotas that I will be shown the quota that I have for using a particular service, and the billing dashboard where I will be shown the cost it had on me for using the service. So I'll be clicking on sign out of my account. Once I sign out, I'll be shown the main page where I can log back in, and I'll be going to my AWS Free Tier page from here. I'm going to log out from here as well. I will show how. Log out from here. I will also log out from here. This, and this. Right. So I'll be now handling the mic to Garvit. Garvit, please carry on.
Thanks, Pratish, for the hands-on demonstration. I guess now you folks are clear about what cloud computing is and why AWS is the largest cloud provider, and now you have visual hands-on experience as well. Please go ahead and explore this by yourself to the fullest. We are going to start Q&A session now. Rajat, over to you.
Thank you, Garvit. So, guys, we are going to have a 15 minutes Q&A session. So please put your questions on the chat, and as and when we see the technical queries, we will reply them. So please go ahead and put technical queries on the chat, and we'll be answering them. So this is a 15 minutes Q&A session that is going to happen, right? So please go ahead and do that. So one of the questions that I saw was, can we deploy our data and you can call your application to multiple data centers? So yes, we can deploy our application and a website to multiple data centers. You need to plan it beforehand. So as we saw that in each regions there are AZs availability zones. So in each AZs you need to decide that you need to put your application across multiple AZs. So this is an architectural principle that you need to follow, and this is how you can deploy your infrastructure across multiple AZs. So as we discussed, if one of the AZs goes down, you have another AZ that is running with your data so that you don't face any downtime, right? So we have one more question from Himanshu, is that how to access machine without login to account? I guess you have to log into your account to access the cloud-based services. So it is not possible because some accounts have some specific permissions. So to use the resources of cloud computing, you need to log into an account, right, Himanshu? Yeah. So any more question, guys? Please shoot. Key differences between AWS and Azure. So mostly the most important thing is that AWS is the biggest cloud-based provider, and AWS has been there, from the starting. So AWS has a big leap, and had a big leap, and it had a big lead in terms of client, in terms of maturity, in terms of experience. So some other cloud-based provider might be providing you with the resources. They are trying to catch up, but what you get with AWS is the experience, the maturity, and the customer base that you won't get with any other global cloud-based provider. So be it any other cloud-based providers such as Azure and Google has their own GCP, and DigitalOcean have their own cloud. Alibaba has their own cloud. So there are many other cloud-based providers, but that is not the point. VMware has their own cloud, right? But AWS is the most it has been from the start, the beginning, and it has got the big leap in terms of experience, in terms of customer, and it has got the most functionality. So there is no comparison with AWS, right? Graduation month and year. Aditya, I don't know in which respect you are asking this question. Are you asking about my graduation month and year? So Sapnadeep is asking if I'm making any software or application and I want to keep it running forever. Example, if I'm making an IoT supporting thing, I want to keep it running. Yeah, you can keep it running. Cloud computing is for that. There are some possibilities such as capacity reservation, a savings plan, where you can go ahead and create your own plan, for which are yearly plans for around 2-3 years. So you can create a plan beforehand, and once you do that, you will not face any downtime. So everything is managed by AWS. So once you deploy it, it's just being managed by AWS. You just have to pay the money, the monthly payment, or if you pay upfront, that is the thing, and it will be forever deployed. If you don't, if you don't stop paying the money, that is it. Right? I guess it's clear. Yeah. So any more question, guys, please ask. Okay, so we will be looking into a few questions that were provided to us earlier by some of the attendees, and we'll be answering those questions, right? So meanwhile, if you have any question, guys, you can put on the chat, but as of now, we will be looking into some other questions, right? So how do I scale my app in the event of more traffic? So in the situation where you are facing a lot of traffic, as we discussed, it is referred to as scalability and elasticity. So AWS Cloud Computing is providing you the capability, to make your infrastructure elastic and scalable. So if you are facing a more crowd from, say example, Australia, or for example North California, or from example Russia, or from any other country, right? So in this situation, you can deploy your infrastructure there. You can scale your applications, and you can scale your infrastructure on the go, on the fly, with the help of AWS Cloud Computing Platform, right? So AWS will provide you the benefits of elasticity and scalability on the go. So Riju is asking, I have created AWS account using university email, but mail is not opening. What email ID I give while filling the form? So you have to provide your university mail ID as well, only, and you'll be receiving a confirmation mail shortly from AWS Educate, right? So please see the AWS Educate filling. You are filling the form properly, and you'll be soon receiving it, right? So AWS Educate Starter account, your cloud journey has only just begun. Use your AWS Educate Starter account to access the AWS Educate console and resources and start building in the cloud. Your account has an estimator. Okay, right. So yeah. So we'll look into some other questions, guys. So what is the benefit of hosting an application on AWS, right? So as we saw that AWS is the global cloud based provider and is the leader in this scenario. So it will provide you the experience and with the most amount of services that will be required, to innovate your applications, to scale your application for reliability, for security. So it will give you the complete package that will require for your application to blossom in the cloud computing scenario, right? So this is why people use AWS and customers are using AWS. And if you go ahead, and my team will provide you a link on the chat right now. I'll ask some of my teammates, so please provide the AWS case studies link. So please go through that link, guys, and you'll see that most of the companies in there are getting benefited with AWS, and it is giving a complete demonstration on how they are getting benefited, right? So if Takir is asking, is the certification from AWS Educate as same as AWS certification from Coursera platform? Not at all, not at all. Iftikhar, it's completely different. The certification that you'll be receiving from AWS Educate is authentic to AWS Educate only. It is a Coursera certificate doesn't count to that. It's a different tie-up with Coursera they have, but AWS Educate platform will be providing with you with certificates that are authentic to AWS Educate platform, right? Yeah, Ranveer is saying, will we get more such events in future? If yes, then thank you. Definitely, Ranveer. This is why we have created this platform, so that we can learn, we can share, and we can build a community that are eager to learn about AWS, it being the best global cloud-based leader right now, and so that we can share, and so that you guys can, get experience, and you guys can share the same zeal and the same enthusiasm, and get to know about all the services, and then can use AWS. So we'll be definitely having more events, and I'm glad that you loved it. Thank you. Yes, guys. So any more question, please put on the chat. So how can two offices use cloud in order to communicate between them? So for example, if you have an infrastructure in AWS region, for example Mumbai, and if you have another infrastructure which is referred to as office in AWS Sydney, so it is related, guys. AWS networking is connected between both the regions, but you need to provide the permissions to allow communication between both the offices. For example, if you have an application and you want to deploy it across both Australia and both Mumbai, so you can use a service which is the CloudFront service that provides you the ability of content delivery network, and you can deploy your applications all across the network, all across the globe with the help of that service, right? So AWS Educate and AWS Free Trial are same. No, Anmol, they are different. Actually, AWS Free Tier account is for people who don't have basically university mail ID, or they want to create a AWS account for business purpose. So for business purpose, you are not going to use AWS Educate. AWS Educate is just for students who are trying to learn, and the $100 provided are provided to students to practice what they learn, right? So AWS Free Tier account is for business purpose, personal use, and you can use them accordingly. But there are some free services as we discussed, but all the services are not free, right? So please go through the Free Tier services link and please explore the services that are free, and then only please use that, right? So how to get AWS certification? Tabashir, please go to the AWS certification link that we provided, and my team will provide that to you once again, right? So please go through that and please explore. And once you feel you are ready, you can go ahead and take the certification exam. The links are provided in the same, right? Is there any WhatsApp group or any Discord group of your organization? Himanshu will be soon be creating a WhatsApp group and Discord channel as well. So once we do that, we'll be very happy to be communicating with you guys on that, right? Sir, I have provided my personal email ID. Okay, and okay, these are management queries. So any technical queries, guys, any technical queries we have, please put on the channel. We'll be answering it right now. So what is scalability? So scalability is basically when you have an infrastructure. For example, the infrastructure is based on the region, for example Mumbai, right? And people from all over the world are coming to Mumbai. So you felt that you need to scale your infrastructure up. So there are two types of scaling. One is like scale up, which is like increasing your resources, increase your configuration. What is scale down? So accordingly, based on the traffic that you're facing, based on the requirement, you can scale up your down your infrastructure, right? I hope that's clear. So this was a very important question, guys. We discussed that what is scalability. So it is basically scaling your application or scaling your infrastructure based on the requirement, right? So do you have to always purchase the cloud computing for storage purposes? No, Amit, it's not necessary that you always purchase. If you use the AWS Free Tier account, there are some services that are free. For example, the EBS storage is free for 30 GB. The snapshot is for 1 GB. The S3 storage, I think, is for around 1 GB around. So there are some free tier limits that you can access. Under the free tier, you don't have to pay for that. But if you cross that limit, then you need to go ahead and pay for that, right? So please go ahead, explore the free tier services, and once you do that, you will be you'll be sound about the services that are free and that are not, right? So sir, can I connect through the LPU Live for all the problems which I may face in opening the AWS Educate account? I think Tanay, please connect through us with LinkedIn, or you can mail us, or Facebook, or that will be more proficient way of communicating with the community, right? So Sapandeep is asking, where do you live in Kolkata? So I live around Tollygunge. I don't know if you know that, Sapandeep. I live around Tollygunge in Kolkata. Right. So okay. Nice to know that. Yeah, nice to know that, Sapandeep. Any more technical query, guys? Please ask. So I got one. What kind of roles in AWS data center? So you can fix that the AWS rules based on your requirement. For example, it's not specific to data centers. I would say it's specific on the purpose that it is serving. For example, I am creating an account for my teammate. So I am the root user. I don't want to provide the root user access to my teammate. I want my teammate to just access the web page, the web server, or something related to our web application. So I will create a specific rule for my teammate, and I will provide the specific requirements that are to be fulfilled by the teammate according to the rule that it provides. Okay. So Vishnu is asking, how many times can you give AWS certification like you fail to get satisfying marks? I think, Vishnu, it is 2 trials, but I'm not sure. Please go through it. I'm not sure. Just go through it. It's all mentioned in the link that will be provided. Okay, so please go through that. Himanshu, thank you so much. Yeah, we planned an interactive session because cloud computing community. As of now, there are not many in our university, but we wanted to create something like this so that people can come and talk about cloud computing, because cloud computing is the future, right? And AWS is the leader of that future. So we need to be aware of what's going on in the cloud computing scenario, and we need to prepare ourselves for that, right? So thank you so much for attending this, Himanshu. So how to get the certificate of the webinar? So you'll be provided with a feedback link. Please fill that, and within I think 1 or 2 weeks, our team will mail the certificate to you. Right, Mehul? Sukman is asking when will I receive the mail that account created? You'll receive it soon. The confirmation mail will be received soon, right? So please go ahead and ask technical queries, guys. We'll be taking the Q&A for 5 more minutes. So please go ahead. Any technical queries if you have regarding the AWS platform or the services, please go ahead and ask. Deepajyoti is asking, as a student, what are the things you can do with AWS? So AWS Educate will be the platform for you to explore if you are a student, and you learn about all the services provided by AWS. You understand your interest in which service you have the most interest. Go ahead, explore that. You will be provided with $100 credits. You go ahead and deploy the services, create a website, create a web app, create a web server, deploy it on AWS, use CloudFront, services like that, and just explore, and as well as learn. You'll be provided with career pathways on AWS Educate, so as well as practicing, you should learn. So once you learn, you have the promotional credits that you can use, and you can deploy. Just go around and explore in AWS. Okay. So Ranveer is asking, my friend of different college received AWS swags. Can we too get that in the future? It depends, Ranveer. It depends. If you organize some hackathons or something like that, then we'll definitely be providing swags and goodies, right? But in webinar, that is not possible as of now. But in the future, if you have some competitions such as quiz and stuff like that, we'll be providing that, right? Swags are basically, so for example, AWS stickers, AWS, you can call it AWS t-shirts or stuff like that. AWS materials, they are known as swags. Yeah, Bharadwaj, we also hope so, right? So 2-3 minutes more left, guys. Any more technical queries, you can please ask. Thank you, Tanay. Thank you for joining so much and making this an interactive session. Thank you so much. So if you have any more question, guys, please ask on the chat section. Thank you. Thank you, Mithilesh. Thank you so much. Please, guys, you can connect with us on LinkedIn if you want to, and yeah, and you can connect with us, right? Yeah, Bharadwaj, thank you so much. Thank you for making this session a great session. Thank you. Yeah, Sudhir, thank you so much. Thank you so much for attending the session. Thank you, Kumar. Thank you, Shreyans. Thank you. Thank you, guys, for joining in and making this such an interactive session. Thank you. Thank you, Ishan. Thank you, Om. Yeah, Sukman, thank you so much. Yeah, as a fresher, yeah, right. I understand, because when we were in the fresher stage, there was not much, not much communities around that could provide us something like that. But we are happy to share, guys. And please go forward and explore it by yourselves and learn. And if you face any difficulty, you can connect with us on the LinkedIn IDs that are provided, or on our community profile, or on community mail. So you can connect, and we'll be very happy to share and learn together, right? Thank you, Kapil. It's an amazing session. It's because of you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you, Vijay. Thank you, Isha. Thank you so much for attending. Thank you. It means a lot to us. Thank you. Further updates by email? Yeah, definitely, because we have the mails of your mails with you, and any further event that will be coming up, you will receive it on your mail. You'll receive seeing it on LinkedIn, all the social media channels. So please stay connected, guys. Please follow the LinkedIn pages, the YouTube, and everything, and so that you are connected. And any further event that is going on, you get to know that, right? So please stay connected with us. We'll love that. Thank you. Thank you, Akanksha. Thank you. It means a lot. It was really amazing, informative session. Thank you so much. It was because of you guys that we made it so interactive. Thank you. Thank you, Rudra. Thank you so much. So, guys, yeah, if you, yeah, thank you so much, Iftikhar. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. It means a lot, guys. Thank you. So, guys, if you don't have any more Q&A, we will be closing the Q&A session. And thank you so much, guys, for attending. And thank you so much, guys, for creating this such an interactive session. We look forward to more such webinars, and we look forward to your cooperation. So please go ahead and learn and share with all the community members, and please stay connected with us, guys. So this was from the AWS Cloud Community LPU. Thank you so much, guys, for attending. I will pass it to Garvit for the closing session. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Rajat. So I hope you are now somewhat familiar with what cloud computing is and how you can use Amazon Web Services for the same. AWS not only offers a broad set of global cloud-based products, but also ensures scalability, agility, elasticity, and many more other features. We also told you about why AWS is above all cloud providers and how its dynamic community makes it more interesting. We also looked into AWS Free Tier, which provides free services to students, entrepreneurs, small businessmen, etc. up to 12 months, and now you can avoid the unnecessary charges too. Then it was AWS certifications, which are of three categories: foundational, associate, and professional. Last but not the least, it was AWS Educate, its features, benefits, which can help you to develop skills in the sector of cloud computing. You can apply for AWS Educate through the link which will provide you. Just ensure you add your university mail ID and you will be good to go. So that was all about this webinar, and this was Gavit. And we, on the behalf of AWS Cloud Community LPU, thank you all for joining the session, and we look forward to be connecting with you. Also, guys, please go ahead and follow us on our social media channels. The tree link is provided on the chat. If you have any query, feel free to email us or DM us on our social official handles. With that, we come to close of today's event. Thank you.